Hello, Book 2. This is Alan. I'm coming to you from a different location. This is the laundromat, not far from my house, and where I'm visiting my friend Laundry. Of course, if you think you don't have any friends, just, laundry's always there for you. And it seems that there's more laundry during the fall and winter months than there is during the summer months. So, see, I have my mask with me. This is the Texas Gym mask, which is actually across the tree where I'm going to go to after I'm through with my friend. Last week, I didn't make a video, a Friday Reads video, because I was sick. I had the cold, and I had to adjust my phone there, sorry about that. And I missed and I missed work. I had to call in sick Wednesday from work, and I had a very high temperature, and I had a cold, and so I just took medicine, Mucinex, some herbs that help out, and so it's good to be where, when you're sick or you have cold, you always have to add, it's not COVID-19, it's not coronavirus. And it's just like the terrorist attack signal where, you hear an explosion at an oil refinery or somewhere, or a shooting. They'll have to add, reporters have to add, this is not a terrorist attack, or we're not sure if this isn't a terrorist attack. So let me go on with Friday Reads. I actually finished one book, and before I get to that one, I will going to show you this. This is the New York Review of Books, and this is dated November 19th, 2020, and I had canceled my subscription. I bought this subscription last year, a 2-year subscription. It was really good until George Floyd and Black Lives Matter attacked all the attacks on the statues, attacks on the church, and they changed their policies. Let me show you in here. There is a, see if I can find it real quick. There is a review, and the reviewers have to do something in the review of the books. Here we go. When they review a book, they have to add this, and I'll show you in just a moment. This is it's called Not Terrors, and the review is by Andrew DeBlanco, and this is called Twilight Man, Rod Serling and the Birth of Television by Coran Shadby, and it's 176 pages, and it costs $22.95. It's sort of a biography of Rod Serling in Twilight Zone, which I like, and this basically is a picture of one of the episodes called The Hitchhiker. We go on through this long review. The reviewer has to add something in here of what is going on today. Let me see. It's a Psycho, 3rd season. Yeah, here it is. The original Twilight Zone was a product of Cold War anxiety when Americans were on notice that a hum or a boom above the skies would be all the warning they'd get before being vaporized. Now we're less fearful of a bomb from the sky or a terrorist vest than a raucous laugh from someone not wearing a mask, or as the nation heads towards war with himself. The West Coast is fire, black man is close to death, we're all beneath the white police prestige, and the president recommends that we inject ourselves with bleach. That doesn't have to be in this article. not a biography of Rod Serling, no. There was one reviewer of books about a month or two ago where the reviewer was reviewing a book by an ESPN reporter, which nobody watches ESPN anymore. It was a book, the title was like Basketball Social Injustice. I believe it was the title of it. And in his review of the book, the reviewer has to say that white people watch basketball to get in touch with their blackness. And I'm like, well, what did white people have to, what was white people get in touch with when they were watching basketball during the 40s, 50s, 60s, and most of the 70s? At the church, the book I finished is called, this is my new Kindle, by the way. And I just lost the page. This is my new Kindle. It's called the Church in the Middle Ages, 1000 to 1378, Cathedrals, Crusades, and the Papacy of Exile. And this is by Steve Weindenkopf. And on Kindle, it costs $13.49. If you buy it regularly, it's $17.95. The book is only 141 pages. And this is part of a series. There are other books in the series. It's called Reclaiming Roman Catholic History, Church History. You have the Church in the Roman Empire, 301 to 490. The early Church, 33 to 313, St. Peter the Apostles, and the Church in the Modern Era, 1846 to 2005. So, yeah, and the Church in the Middle Ages basically is about sort of the myths about the Middle Ages. There was a lot of things that this author says that I wasn't aware of. The College of Cardinals, by the way, during the Middle Ages, got together and said that they're going to be the ones that chose the Pope and no one else. Because before they decided that, they had to, there was a battle between two different Italian families. Two different Italian families on who was going to be Pope. And so at one time, there were three men that were battling for the papacy. And this also brings up, during this time, you have the building of the cathedrals. You also have a different, you have my screen just keeps blanking out on me. You have, he goes through just snippets of different history of the Catholic Church and what the Catholic Church is doing. He doesn't praise the Catholic Church because for 70 years there was not a single pope that was there wasn't a single pope that became a saint for 70 years. That's how bad they were. And you had the papacy going to England. You had during this time you had the king. One of the kings, Henry IV, I believe it is, I'm not sure, I don't have my notes with me. Henry IV, the one who had to appointed his own bishop, and that was against church regulations. And so the Pope, he went down to Rome, and the Pope made him stay outside in the snow, barefoot, with peasant garb on. And he later attacked Rome and said, no, I'm going to do it my way. And he later became emperor. And so you had the authority of the church being coming in and saying, no, that's not how we do it. Steve Weindenkopf said at the very beginning of this book that there are three people in history, and you're either one of these three people. You're either ruled, you farmed, or you went to war. And the Crusades came about during this time. There's also a mention of Thomas Becket, who was slain, and the book, I can't remember the book, about those pilgrims that are making a journey, and that is actually them making a journey to the Thomas Becket grave to pay homage to Thomas Becket. And you have a schism that took place between the Western Church and Eastern Church. As it's come up before in history, when you had the Filioque way. The Filioque way is basically means and the Son. That's basically what it means, and the Son, because the Nicene Creed was established and said after it comes down, and the Holy, we believe in the Holy Spirit, who proceeds from the Father and the Son. The Eastern Church, even today, says that there's no controversy because the Holy Spirit does not proceed from the Son, it only proceeds from the Father. And scriptures point this out because Jesus said, "Tarry in Jerusalem until I send the Holy Spirit, which comes from the Father." Even though he said he's going to send it to the Father, it comes from the Father. So, and there was another controversy and during this time when the Eastern Church accused the Western Church being Rome, the Eastern Church being Constantinople, and accused the Western Church of eating the bread served in the Mass, eating unleavened bread. Yeah, that's it, unleavened bread, while the other ones ate leavened bread. Well, the group of cardinals entered the church in Rome and basically declared the Eastern Church as heretics. There was going back to the Filioque way, when Pope Francis met with, was going to go to London. He was on the route. People were waving and everything else. One guy held up an empty pizza box with the words, "What about the Filioque way?" And so, yeah, and to the Son. So, and the book is very short. As said, there's a couple of things that he puts in here, like, you know, different people throughout this time. He'll give a short biographical sketch of them. And he also has "You Be the Judge" section. Like, for instance, what I just talked about, the king appointed his own bishops. You be the judge. He said, are they allowed to do that, or is the church only allowed to do that? So, despite being really short, this is a very good introduction to somebody who's more of a scholarly, not scholarly, but sort of a school. What do you learn in a university or college setting, and when it might cause you to go to dig deeper into the subjects, like the Crusades, for instance. He gives a bibliography section in the back and tells you about the bibliography. And one of those was God's War, which talks about the Crusades. So, and I recommend this book if you're interested in church history. And this was a very good one. Well, thank you very much, BookTube, and be sure to like, subscribe, and as always, have a good weekend. Thank you.